Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to another podcast by Geeks for Geeks. Today's podcast is all about empowering women coders and how we are celebrating Women's Day by, meeting such influential women in the tech industry. So, today we have a very special guest with us. She is a teacher, a YouTuber with 80K plus subscribers. She is a software developer and she is also LinkedIn Top Voice 2022. So, without any further delay, let's welcome our today's guest, that is Kirti Pushwani. Hi, Kirti.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's always great to be on JFG.
It's good to have you as well. So, first of all, happy Women's Day.
Same to you.
So, how has the day been treating you?
It's fine. The actual Women's Day is obviously on 8th, but then, feel is obviously there. The thing is that always there'll be a few people who come and tell you that, what is the need of Women's Day and all. But still, it feels good. I think things are in the right direction, so it's all good.
Nice. So, Kirti, we'll be starting with your questionnaire. So, I have a few questions with you as you are someone from the tech industry, and many women look up to you when they talk about that they want to start a career in tech with the technical background. So, for that only, I wanted to ask you what strategies have been effective in paving the way for women in technology, according to you?
Okay. Firstly, I'm very, very grateful that, I can be a good example for the people. Honestly, it's not very different than it is for the men. In terms of self confidence and really pushing forward, it is very different because a lot of people deny it, but the reality is that from where we start is a very different place from where men start in most of the cases. Like we are fighting for a lot of basic things with preparing ourselves
True,
for the job. So
true,
it is not just the job that we are preparing for, it is also to get out there in the world, to be there with the confidence. And because since years we have been told that this is not our cup of tea, we don't have any IITian female figures that are very famous that we look up to.
true,
Very, very less IITian females are there now. Like, similarly, female software engineers. So when you look at software engineers and IITians, and when you see only very small proportion, you start doubting yourself that, is this even made for me? Is this like, is this where I belong?
true,
Or, you are
true,
not just preparing for the job, but with that, you are fighting the urge. You're fighting a lot of challenges from society that a lot of people telling you indirectly or directly that you don't belong here. So it is not just preparing for the job. The preparing for the job is going to be same, right? Because like the interview process is going to be same. The what we have to study is going to be the same. But
yes,
again,
true,
in the interviews, it is, I think, somewhere we are just looked upon in a very different way. So getting
true.
over that fact itself is a process for us.
Yes, even I have observed this to prove you have to prove that you are worthy, you are intelligent. Like if a man walks in an interview, there's usually a thinking that, oh, okay, he is an
Right,
intelligent person, he must be doing good and stuff. But as a woman, you have to prove your point, like
right,
prove it through your strategies or the way you say things. Then only people
exactly.
have that trust factor in you. You have to win it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And no matter how much we achieve, like I have cracked so many interviews, I've cracked Uber, Microsoft, like so much,
true.
but still I have to constantly keep proving myself. Like I get
Yes,
that feeling that, I'm not good enough. Even though I have proved it multiple times, even now I get the comments like female
yes.
quota hai. And I see that everywhere. Like it is a constant thing that you have to keep proving yourself. Otherwise, it's like, they people just want to get married, just want money, others money, they just like shopping.
Yes, true,
So
true,
it's the small, small stereotypical things, like even things like, I feel like getting ready sometimes and going to office. It's so, as simple as that. A guy
true.
could get ready, but a woman, when she has to get ready, she would be thinking a lot
So
that
true. Yes,
the
yes.
way she will be judged, right? And that is
So
how she
true.
will be known. She won't be known for her work anymore. She would be known for how she dresses
Known
up
for
her
being
office.
pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So the entire concentration is not on your work actually. It is on a lot of things, and your work is a part of it. Whereas for a man, it is like your work is the most important thing, and rest all
Yes,
is.
it is true. But luckily, with social media and these social websites and people like you who are influencers, and the way you guys approach these problems and the way you communicate it to the audience, now people are getting educated on all
Yes,
these things. Like now
yes,
there is more respect given to the women. There are more policies that are being provided for women and their safety in the work culture.
yes,
So
definitely.
it
Like,
is coming around in a way,
yeah,
like in a good way. Yeah.
yes, definitely. Like I'm definitely so thankful for the era that we are living in, and
Yes,
uh,
true.
like there are so many good men also nowadays who really
Yes,
acknowledge
true.
and really support their partners and really want people to grow. Like a lot of managers, a lot of seniors who are
True.
really respecting women for their work and not for anything else. And and also the thing that more and more men are taking responsibility, like in terms of household work, or in terms of
True.
that
Hmm.
equality among partners, and
Hmm.
like they feel that okay, they also have to take care of their personal lives
Hmm.
and not just of the professional life. So that thing is also good. I think we are headed in the right direction, but there are
Yes,
still
we are.
problems that we are supposed to solve and talk about.
Yes, Kirti, thank you so much. This was a very insightful answer. My next question to you is, what steps organizations have taken or can take for the inclusion of women in tech?
Okay, so there are a bunch of things. So one of the things that I very commonly talk about, that in a lot of offices there are like special cabs for women, because if they stay late in the office after like 7 p.m. 8 p.m., they arrange like a bodyguard or security guard to go
Wow.
drop them,
Okay.
which I think is good for the safety of women. But somehow it raises the question that managers going to start feeling, or the woman itself is going to start feeling that, oh,
Hmm.
security guard is going to come.
Hmm.
Better than that make a man stay and not a woman stay. So that bias comes at some level. So according to me, first thing that should be there, that either it should be for both or it should not be there. Otherwise you just stop making people stay in the office. You go home and you work, or if even men are returning late at night, you arrange a car and a security guard for them. Like, make
Hmm.
them feel equal, make them feel equally important. Or
True.
even men can get kidnapped or anything, right? It is not just women.
Exactly.
Even the women are
Exactly.
more.
Why to have that idea that women need to be protected? They are
Right.
the most delicate ones. Like everybody is delicate, right? Everybody is human. So yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So even men can like face a lot of troubles. So I
True.
think by providing them equal amount of protection and safety net, it sort of makes them feel also equal. Otherwise, it is going to be in
Hmm.
men's head, right? That there are special women hiring
Yes.
drives, there are
True.
special like cabs for women. Then why
Hmm.
are they going to feel equal, right? So I feel the problem is that if we really want equality, we should also be standing up for equality. So they're
True.
like, we should not be expecting extra from men just because they are men. So when we stop changing those things, like I think things are going to change. Similarly, a very simple thing that there are maternity leaves are much longer than the paternity leave because of the body changes, I agree. But
Yes.
now more and more companies are giving more leaves to the male partners also, to
Male
the
employees as well. Yes.
fathers.
Yes.
Yes. So that is also a good thing, that fathers
Yes.
are giving more importance to the personal life also. So the women
Yes.
feel that
Obviously.
okay, it's
Yes.
equal thing, yeah, at home. So these are
Because
small.
it is a big. Yes.
Yes, yes. So these seem like very small things, but
Hmm.
they really make a big impact. Like I have actually heard from like my seniors who are very happy as a father. They are able to spend more time with the kid, and they are able to acknowledge the fact that
Yes. Yes.
the
True.
woman is going through so much, and they are respecting the
True.
boundaries, and they are encouraging her also more to work. So I
Yes,
think
because I believe, yes, even I agree with that because a new family member is getting added to the family. So the pressure is on both sides, right? On the mother as well and on the father as well. If she's going through some phys- physical changes, then the father is also going through mental or emotional or maybe other changes, right? It's not just about the physical changes are happening, so only this person is suffering. There
right,
are other
right.
type of struggles as well. So it
Right.
is true. In fact, for
Yeah.
Women's Day as well, like, people don't celebrate Men's Day in general.
No, actually, I keep telling people this. The
Hmm,
first, what's I'm LinkedIn topper, as you said in my introduction. But
hmm.
my first LinkedIn post that went viral was a Men's Day post because I talked
Yes,
about the problems that men face. So I
true,
am not saying ki just stand up for women. I am saying stand up for both. But we need to talk about the problems that both face. We need to understand that,
true.
physically, psychology, we are different. But how can we make sure that we feel equal in the process of accepting that how we are different like that?
So true. Like we just have to create equal cerebral opportunities because physiologically men and women are obviously different. But if we
Right.
can just create equal cerebral opportunities that you can do whatever you want with the help of the skills that you have, with the help of education you have, so it is more. It becomes more, equal in a way.
Right, right,
Yeah.
definitely. Yep.
So thank you, Kirti. Next question to you is like, my next question is very general, to be honest. It is about what challenges like you have faced in your journey. Like only if you are comfortable sharing, but we would love to know.
uh Honestly, the time thing that I talked about, the cab thing, that was one of my first major experiences. I have shared it on LinkedIn also, but it was a while ago. So,
Okay.
what happened in my first company, I was a non-CSA student. So, I had so much to learn and so much to practice. And I was in a mental state that I just want to work right now, nothing else in life. So, I used to stay really late at night just to study, to, do that. And the HR head, the people head of the organization, called me once to her office and she was like, "Why are you staying so late? It is not safe for you." And while I was there were like a bunch of men, like my seniors, my teammates, who would stay up late at night to work and we would work together. I would ask them doubts. But it was me who was called and told that, what, so much work is there in the team. I was asked, like, what work is there? Why are you staying? Like, can we give you less work somehow? Like, the men are not asked this, should we give you less work somehow? Then why am I being asked that I should be given less work somehow? So that was like, I don't promote that you should be working late at office or back late at night, but the fact that men can stay and women can't stay without being questioned was the first thing that I faced. And I remember storming out of the office so angry that how can just she ask me like that?
So
Being a
true.
woman,
So true.
she asked me this.
Yeah, I
And,
understand. Yeah, I
and
mean, you're very right in there because it's not about staying. Like there, you wanted to learn, you wanted to explore the field, you had that passion in you to work.
yes.
So where did this idea ki why are you staying up late? Where did it come from? Of course,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Like it seemed a very and she gave me a lot of gyan also that this is just the start of the future. Later, when you will have kids, what is good. I was like, who
Oh,
are you to tell me all of this? And it was
oh
a
my
very,
god.
very bad experience. Like, and that was like one time I realized that, oh, things need to change in this industry. And there, surprisingly, there are very less people who talk about this. I have heard so many stories from my friends who are
Hmm.
treated differently because they're women, like not given chance in a particular type of team or not given
So
promotions.
true.
It is, I agree that it is happening less now, but it is still happening. Even if it
It
is
is still
happening like
happening.
one or two people, it is to be discussed. You can't ignore those cases and you just go
Exactly.
like it happens only with a few people. So why should we talk about? You can't go like that. That is just unfair.
Yes.
So someone has to stand up for those people, right? So
Yeah,
I was like, I am.
people usually take a step back when it comes to oh, equality, they're talking about women, let's just listen and not indulge in the communication. Let's just people usually tend to take a step back. And
Yeah.
even if when it is not happening actively, like it sometimes happens passively as well. Like sometimes you're speaking in a meeting and somebody interrupts you suddenly, and you're like, oh, I would never interrupt someone like that. So
I know,
it
I know.
happens, it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Actually, there are a bunch of things that are actually made for women. Like posh is
hmm.
one thing
Hmm.
that men are
Yes.
now so scared of that they,
Yes.
and it is taken as a joke. I see this so
Yes.
often. Oh, talk not nicely or posh laga degi, posh
True.
laga. I'm
True.
like, this is not to be joked.
Not
It's for
true.
brought up for a reason, for very serious things that women faced, and it is there, it is still happening. It is not something to be joy. That is not cool according to me. When people, I am like,
Exactly.
let's make fun, let's have fun, let's have a good time, but there are some boundaries that you're not supposed to be joking about, and
True,
these are
true.
like that for me.
Like obviously, like why to be scared if you're not doing anything wrong? Like why do you have to keep on telling ki, oh, this will happen, that will happen? If you are just being genuine, respecting the boundaries, nobody is going to come to you and say, oh, like why will I or any woman invite such problems in her life to go
Right.
to any men in life and tell him that, okay, you are wrong, you are doing this, even when they are not doing this. So there's nothing to be scared about relating to posh. Like it's
There
just
are a few people who take advantage of it, but we know that the
hmm,
percentage is far lesser than the number of
true,
women who face
true,
this.
true.
So when people say not all men is a very stupid
Yes.
counter thing that they come, I'm like, okay. Okay. Then the
Not
logical
all
thinking
women
itself
will.
is somewhere very messed up. I don't know what reason to give them only if this is their, uh, you know, I don't know. It's a very simple thing. You just start thinking of your closest friend or sister or mother, and you will realize
True,
that on how many levels this is wrong. It is a very
true,
simple thing to think of. I've seen so many men, like, their perspectives change completely when they get in relationships. Not just get
true.
married, that and all I'm talking about very different. You get in a relationship, and I've seen so many men ka perspective change completely. Oh, they go through so much. Oh, period
Yeah,
leaves is
they
a
start
thing. It's a big
understanding. They
deal.
start
Yeah.
understanding.
Then they start with, so why it has to be that I have to live with someone to understand it. Be empathetic enough and just try to
Yes,
think
true.
about it from the other person's perspective. No, like it's as
Yes,
simple
true.
as that.
So true. So, Kirti, we'll be moving ahead to our next question. But before that, to my audience, I would like to say that we will be picking up a few questions from the comment box once this interaction session gets over. So, please keep posting comments, live comments. We'll be reading them, we'll be replying them, answering your queries. So, yeah, moving ahead to our last question, Kirti. What advice would you give to women who are just getting started in the tech industry?
I would like to say that now things are really changing, and let's
Hmm,
focus on the skills more than this. Let's just stand up for each other and support each other as much as possible. But let's prepare ourselves and let's be better than anyone else. Our competition is not just men, but anyone who is doing better than us, right? So we can instead compete with ourselves and try to upskill ourselves. And
hmm,
even though there are some places where we will still face problems or unfairness, it is we are just doing harm to ourselves by focusing on that more. And let's just focus on our skills and let's just show them that what, we are going to do this better than you, and we don't need your extra pity to get somewhere. We can do this, like, so as a community, if we stand up together and if we become more examples for the younger generation, it is just going to get normalized that women IITs, women software engineers, we are the generation who can just change this. If more of us just focus on skills somehow, then it will become normal for them to look at us. So that is the minimum thing that we can do, and it will be great for ourselves and our next generation. So,
that is so true. I completely agree with this, Kirti. Because matlab, if we go according to generation wise, like generation by generation, we have improved a lot. Now, at least the information has started to reach people, and now that it is starting to reach people, people are acknowledging it. And when something is getting acknowledged, there's a higher chance that action will be taken.
right. Yeah,
So uh, we are very grateful that we are in this generation where people are getting action oriented.
definitely. Yeah.
All right. Yes. So let's see if we have any insightful questions in our comment box. Any particular question you want to answer, or you see any user with an insightful question? Let me know.
Yeah, I'm also just checking out the questions. Guys, feel free to, chat with us, ask us anything. So we also understand that, there are there are different perspectives to this. It is not necessary that everything that I am saying is right for sure, right? No one is like complete.
Hmm.
This is like our perspective. We are just trying to improve the things for the community around us. Similarly, I'm never saying that you are wrong and I am wrong.
Hmm.
Why have I grown so much on LinkedIn? Because I was always very open to others' perspectives. Also, someone said you are
True.
saying this wrong. I went like give me logical reasoning and let me
True.
just and try to understand
Hmm.
your perspective, and I am completely open to understand your perspective, and you should be too. So that is all I am saying over here. So if you have any other thought process, or if you have any problem with any of the things we say, come on, let's talk about it, let's discuss. It's things like this that are really going to matter, and you might really bring some change for, like, someone who's struggling. You might really make them feel better. So
True. So we have this one query. It says, "Ma'am, I was practicing solving DSA problems 4 to 5 months and done 250 questions. Yesterday, I attempted an assessment of a company and I was not able to solve any single question. What should I do now?"
okay. So firstly, this happens with everyone that, you practice a lot, but when the time comes, there's a lot of pressure. The time constant is there, and it just becomes very hard. So there are a bunch of things that you can do. First thing that I really suggest to everyone is to try mock interviews, because it gives you the confidence to really face it, and you get to experience how it is going to be in your life. Sometimes we know the stuff, but because it is just so overwhelming at that time, the timer and the pressure that we go through, it becomes very very overwhelming. So it might happen that when you calm down, relax, and when you actually sit with a lot of time to practice those questions, you might be able to do it. Okay, so first thing, that while practicing, also put a timer, make yourself feel like you are, like, actually applying for a company. It's an assessment for a company, and you practice like that. That is the first thing. Secondly, while doing questions, don't just focus on the number of questions. I see so many people telling that you have done 250 plus questions, 300 plus questions, but it is not just about the number of the questions. It is about how perfectly you have understood the problem. Even solving two three problems properly could be better than solving 15 to 20 questions. I'm saying that much gap, because if those two three questions you were able to think of all the edge cases, you were able to understand why exactly am I using this edge case over here, why exactly am I writing this code like this, what if I would have used any other edge case or any other way of writing the code, would this work, would this not work. The moment you keep asking yourself these questions, it is going to work out. And every single time, while practicing, you are unable to solve a question, you think about it. Why was I not able to solve this? What mistake I made? What edge case did I not think of? Did you miss negative numbers? Did you miss like repeating numbers? Then just note this down, and the next time you do a question, you should not be repeating those mistakes. That is the whole point, that once you practice, you do a similar question, and if you're repeating the same mistakes again and again, you should have, like, proper talk with yourself. Why am I making the same mistake again and again? You're not
True.
really concentrating. So this happens over time. You have to analyze yourself, what mistakes you are making. Put a timer, make yourself feel like you are in an assessment of the company, like, all the time. And this happens with everyone. You are not the only one. It's not like, it is harder for you, you're stupid, nothing like that. It happens with everyone. And everyone, even with experience, who has like 5 6 years of experience, who has cracked a lot of companies earlier, now when you sit to interview, you have to practice again. You have to go through the concepts again. No one remembers the concepts forever. You need to brush up. You need practice. You need constant practice. So don't be very overwhelmed.
All right. So practicing is the key.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one another query by Rajat. So he says, "Thoughts on offline courses learning through institutes."
Rajat, this is actually a very interesting question.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised by the number of people who have moved to just online courses. I am personally a huge fan of offline courses, going somewhere, the dedication of sitting and actually doing it. I understand that many people are not fan of it, but it is not necessary that you have to enjoy something that everyone enjoys. But I think it is just a matter of convenience now, because if you open an offline coaching institute somewhere, it is very less number of people who can attend it versus if it's online,
Hmm,
people from
true.
all over the globe, not just India, not just that city, not just people sitting in the different area in that city can attend. So it is just easier to get to connect to people, and that is why it is there. But if I had like 50 students in my community, I would go ahead and conduct offline classes. I love offline classes. I am personally all up for it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think both have their own separate benefits, online and offline. If in online institutes you're getting that accessibility anywhere, anytime. In offline, you're getting accessibility for the passionate work that you are putting in, and the the enjoyment of being physically present there. So
Right.
both have their separate benefits. So it is all up to you, Rajat, what you like look up to and what makes you learn in the best way possible. So
Right.
yeah. Next, we have one last question. Kirti will be picking up, and then we might bid you a farewell. So, this question is by Shruti. It is, how can I start if I have to start coding from scratch? Okay.
Okay. Hi, Shruti. Thank you for asking the question. First of all, see, if you're starting from scratch, firstly, you need to know one language. Pick up any language. It can be C++, Java, Python, literally anything. Pick up one language. For me, it was C++. For you, it can be Java, Python, anything. Just pick up one thing, okay? Learn the basics of that. And then if you want to like go into software development, then start with data structures and algorithms. Again, pick up any book, any site, and start studying about it. Like GFG articles itself is very good. I've gone through a lot of articles and I still go through them when I am stuck somewhere. So just start practicing data structures, algorithms, like from the basics. What are arrays, and the strings, and basic data types and stuff, basics of data structures. And then once you know one language, DSA, you're comfortable, move to development, like backend development, front end development. So like that. But the first thing should be, you should know like one language. You should be able to like take input, output, process statements, and basics. You start from there, DSA, and then move to development, like if you're like a very very beginner.
All right. I hope, Shruti, your question has been answered. So, this is it, Kirti. I think we'll be summing up this session now. Thank you so much for being a part of this session. It was amazing connecting with you. You are a very knowledgeable person indeed, and to connect with someone like you, like made me feel very grateful.
Thank
So,
you so much for
thank you.
having me, Sia. It really means a lot. And to everyone who attended, thank you so much for coming and showing up. And this Women's Day, just be nice to one woman, just be nice to like, one extra person. And let's try to understand the problems that we all face. And that's all that special days are about, right? That, to
True.
spread a bit more positivity, to be a bit more happy about the things around us. So, yep.
That is so true. That was indeed a very beautiful approach. I hope people practice it. Thank you, Kirti. Thank you again.
See you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. So, this is it for today, geeks. I hope you enjoyed this session. For more such informative and amazing sessions, keep following Geeks for Geeks on YouTube, LinkedIn, social media, and of course on our website. So, happy Women's Day and hope you all enjoyed this session. Thank you.